What? Hi guys, it's been a bit, I know, but there's a reason. So I knew the one album I wanted to review before I do anything else was Asking Alexandria's Like a House on Fire. Me personally, I am a huge fan of Asking Alexandria, I can easily say that. I got into them when I was watching interviews with Andy Biersack from Black Veil Brides and Danny. And the music is definitely really something to talk about. I generally like the metalcore, electronic core blending together. Even in recent times, ever since 2013, they've been blending more hard rock and heavy metal influences into the metalcore sound that I think really works. Even with Danny leaving the group and having to be replaced by Dennis at the time of The Black, I still thought The Black was a really solid record. Definitely got too much hate, but then again, I feel like the band was really worried that there were going to be 3 Days Grace. But of course, Danny came back and then the self-title was released. A lot of people gave that album shit, but I generally say it was a really solid album. Mixing elements like hard rock, pop, electronica. I thought it was a really nice blend, and I personally really liked it. However, with this album, like A House on Fire, there's a lot to really talk about on here. That was a lie, I'm sorry. But at least talking about the sound, because it's kind of more Asking Alexandria maturing. In a way of just saying, we're not emo boys anymore, we want to make this kind of music that doesn't say, well, you're a stereotypical emo metalcore band. With that in their minds, the music was going to change. And you can definitely tell with that ever since the lead single, The Violence, came out. A lot of people, again, gave that song shit for not sounding like anything else that they released before, but I generally think it was a really solid song. I like the groove, I like the guitars. Danny sounded really damn good on that one. That and the music video was just funny, I loved it. And then a couple of months went by and then they teased more songs off of this album. I believe it was They Don't Want What We Want and They Don't Care and Anti-Socialist. 2 really solid songs that I thought, okay, this album was going to sound a little more poppy. Pop is not a bad word to me. I generally don't mind when bands, especially rock bands, want to make a pop record. Just don't be fucking lazy doing it. And it honestly sounds like the band was trying to put effort into it. The band sounds like they're playing their instruments and they really sound like all 5 members were doing their part. And more of the singles came out, like House on Fire and Down to Hell, I was still really optimistic to see where the band was going with this album. However, listening to all 15 tracks when the album was released, oh dear God, I had mixed feelings about it at first. Okay, let me get this out of the way. Now, after listening to this album more than once, I can say it's a very solid record. It has a sound that it could be either groovy, catchy, makes you want to dance, makes you want to headbangs. There's some really damn good choruses on this and damn good guitar work. That's what to expect from Ben. I just generally think that overall this album was very solid. So why did it take me more than one listen to really say that? Well, of course, the first listen, all I thought was, good God, these songs sound all the same. I just generally thought that all the songs sounded way too similar. They all have the same formula, verse, chorus, maybe an occasional guitar solo then and there, but overall it was just pretty much that formula for the entire album. And that's not really a bad thing, a lot of albums are like that. What made this album just so samey was just, Asking Alexandria has a little bit of a problem when it comes to making verses because they just all sound so very similar. Hell, even the choruses can sound similar at times. However, I remember watching this little cartoon interview that they had about the album, which I'm not complaining, I really love watching it. I didn't know I needed that in my life, but now it's out there, and now I need it. Ben stated that a couple of people just weren't vibing with this record, and it's very understandable. If you really wanted your Asking Alexandria to be metalcore and oh my God, you're not getting it on this record. However, it's not really something to be surprised of. They stopped doing that ever since 2017, and he said, give it time, give it more than one listen, and then come back to me. And then a lot of people started liking it. I kind of fell into that category. That's why I wanted to give this album a fair chance to give it a second try. And the second try around, I really started to look more into the lyrics. This is supposed to be Asking Alexandria, the matured version, the rated M version, not the rated E for emo. This is not Stand Up and Scream, this is definitely not The Black. If anything, The Black was probably their last full-blown metalcore record. Overall, I guess I could just really say this album is solid but generic. I still stand by saying that the singles are the best of the album. However, there are songs on here that I can say I like. I Don't Need You is a really nice, solid love ballad from the band. Who honestly thought that a band like Asking Alexandria was going to make a love song ballad that is also a duet? In My Blood has been something that I've been listening to a lot lately. I just generally like the groove of that. Probably the catchiest songs in my opinion on this record. And the thing is, the lyrics, while mature, they do sound a little whiny. I'm sorry, I have to say it. They do sound a little whiny and a little bit like a high schooler's diary. But overall, there's still some great into Danny's lyrics. I'm not gonna discredit him for it at all. So those are my thoughts of Like a House on Fire. If you're expecting it to be your metalcore stand up and shout, you're going to be disappointed as fuck. However, that shouldn't stop you from getting this album a second try, because like Ben said, it is better when you come back around to it. Overall, I might give this album a 3.5 out of 5. It has its flaws, it has its problems. However, if you look at it as a nice, solid record, you might really like it. But that's all I gotta say about this album. If you guys want to watch more, I have more album reviews that you can feel free to check out. Link in the description and below. If you want to listen to the original record, I have a new album out. It's called Rough Draft. If you guys want to listen to it, if you're curious, I'll put that in the link below, and I'll see you guys next time.